Fort Donelson, the beginning of the end. Specifics on the battle. The battle was in Stewart County, Tennessee. The battlefield was about 54 acres in size. It was in early February 1862, so very early on in the war. And since it was in February, it was earlier on in the calendar year, so very cold. After Fort Henry, which was a Union victory, the Confederates set up a couple thousand troops to reinforce Fort Donelson. Even with this extra support, the Confederates were still severely outmanned and gunned. Why was it important? The Confederates wanted to keep control of the Cumberland River because they would be able to move troops and supplies easily into northern Virginia. The Union wanted to gain control of the river for the exact opposite of the Confederates. They wanted to prevent the Confederates from being able to access the Cumberland River, therefore blocking one of their only supply routes. Another important thing. This battle was the debut of a young, unproven general. His name was Ulysses S. Grant. Ulysses S. Grant goes on to become the general that forced the South to surrender. So, in a nutshell, if the Union hadn't have won the Battle of Fort Donelson, General Grant wouldn't have gotten promoted. The Union may have not won the war just because of this small battle in Tennessee. Advantages. The Union had about 24,000 troops, with the Confederate coming in at about 16,000. The Union had gunboat support with superior manpower and firepower, had resources like food and water, and the Confederate had high ground, had the actual fort itself, and had knowledge of the land area. What happened in the battle? General Grant moved his troops into position surrounding the fort. The Confederate cavalry harassed the Union, while Confederate troops dug 2 trenches to support the already powerful defenses of the fort. A blizzard struck, catching the Union soldiers in the open, killing, or freezing, most of them to death. Freezing some of them to death. Union gunboats began their attack, but artillery in the fort fired back at the boats. General Pillow led the attack, designed to push the Union troops back and create an escape route out of the fort. Confederate attack was successful at the early stages of the battle, but then another blizzard struck, and the wounded froze to death again. Then General Pillow essentially wimped out and brought his soldiers back into the fort. The Confederate States of America did not have enough resources to hold a fort for more than 10 days. General Buckner told Pillow and Floyd that they would not be able to hold the fort. Floyd and Pillow left via river. General Buckner asked General Grant for terms of unconditional surrender. Grant earned the nickname Unconditional Surrender Grant for this. At Dover House, Buckner surrendered with 12,000 Confederate soldiers. Results. The Union got a decisive victory over the Cumberland River. They effectively stopped the supply route into northern Virginia. Although it was a small battle, it set the stage for the Western theater of the American Civil War.